Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. It is a week 1 of the pantry challenge. Now, this has been a strange week for me because I started off the week in January 1st thinking that, I typically do a soup. So I was expecting to do a soup, but the family didn't want a soup, but that's okay. So whatever rack I do for Christmas, I make a broth, which I then turn into soup. But this year I just made broth. So we had ham for Christmas dinner, and I'm taking all the bones, all the drippings, everything that was left in the pan, including the cloves, everything. Now, some people don't do that, but I do. I find it adds a really good taste to the broth. So I put everything into my stock pot, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 12 hours or so. Some organic apple cider vinegar that I made myself, even though it's in somebody else's jar. But this apple cider vinegar I did make myself, and I'm so proud of it. Getting low, but I do have a couple of more Mason half gallon and gallon that I can put in, that I have at my disposal to use, which is a good thing because the last year I haven't bought any groceries from the grocery store, so they have come in handy. So I'm getting up all the bits and pieces off this pan, making sure I get all the goodness into my stock pot. And I did add a few herbs, some chives, some parsley, some other different herbs I did add in there, dry from this year's garden. And I'm just going to bring this to a simmer, and I'm just going to sit it on the stove and let it simmer for the rest of the day. So while that is simmering away on the stove, I'm going to think about what I have in the fridge that I'm going to make for dinner tonight. And I did have a couple of slices of ham left, but it looks like somebody has gotten into it, but that's okay. This is what I have left. I have chopped it up into little cubes. I have a couple of pieces of pineapple that I have left, and I've cut them up, and I have some peas and carrots. And I also have some rice. So we seem to eat a lot of rice in my household. So I have some rice here, and I'm going to make sweet and sour pork fried rice. That's one of our favorites, so that's what I'm going to make out of the little bit of ham I have left and this rice. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my butter melted in the pan, and I'm actually going to fry up a couple of my water glassed eggs and get them scrambled up first. I'm going to take those out of the pan and do everything right in this pan. One thing I noticed about this challenge as I was going along was I do a lot of one pot meals or one pan meals, which is great. We also eat a lot of rice. And the third thing I noticed was my family has not recognized that I am making meals with a lot less meat in them. They haven't said anything, so I'm thinking they haven't noticed. But what I am doing is I'm flavoring the rice, the pasta, whatever else is in the dish with, say, broth from that ham or juice from the pineapple, so it all gets incorporated and enhances the meat taste. So I don't think they've noticed that there's a lot less meat in the dishes that I've been serving. So if you don't have sweet and sour sauce, you can replicate it with some ketchup and some vinegar, or you can stretch the sauce that you do have if you don't have it. You don't think you have enough for the dish. So that's one way you can either make it or stretch what you do have. So this dish came together really quick and easy. I am adding in the rice. Now I did pour some pineapple juice over the rice so that absorbed into the rice before I put it into the dish. Now here I'm just putting back in the eggs. And last thing I'm going to put in is the cut up pineapples. And it's easy as that. So one thing I do, if you have some of that juice, from the pineapples or the veggies, whatever, make sure you're rinsing out your jars. That sweet and sour jar, I did rinse out with it. So here is the final product, and it was really, really good. You could serve it with a side of another veg or a salad or even some bread, rolls, or whatever you may have on hand. Because I know we eat a lot of rice, I'm going to try and switch it up today. I have some mashed potatoes here. I have some of the caramelized onions. I have corn, and I have some chicken and mushrooms. Now chicken is our staple protein. That's what we eat the most of. So I'm going to get my pot going with my veggie water. Remember, don't throw away that water. It has nutrients in it that have leached out from those vegetables. So I'm actually going to cook my mashed potatoes in them. And in my pan, which is my favorite pan I have come to see, I'm going to make a sort of one-pot meal. So in goes my milk, which I home can myself. And we're not dead yet, so it can be done, guys. Don't take I don't want to say for granted, but everybody's opinion of what you should and should be canning. Try it out. Try a small batch and see if it works for you and your family. But yeah, canning any kind of dairy, cheese, milk is a rebel canning item, so a method. So maybe you don't want to do that, but start canning. It will definitely come in handy when you need it. So here I am making my roux, which you have seen me do time and time again, using the water off my mushrooms to make that, and then the water off my chicken. Now the water off my chicken is broth, I think, anyway. So yeah, why would you throw that away? Don't throw it away, people. Use it in your cooking. So I'm just going to get this all smoothed out. As you will see, it's smoothed out beautifully. I want this to be a brown sauce. If you have the brown gravy mix, you can use some of that. But tonight I'm going to be using my browning seasoning sauce. It's called browning seasoning sauce. So that's what I typically use. So I'm bringing my water for my mashed potatoes to a boil, and I'm just adding those in there. Mashed potatoes is so easy, and they're versatile, and apparently they don't expire. So yeah, that's a plus. So here's my brown sauce, and I'm just going to add in my seasonings. I use salt-free seasonings, but use whatever seasonings you and your family like. So I'm just adding in my seasonings, and then it goes, yep, my mushrooms. Everything is so quick and easy, it's not even funny. And then I'm going to put in my caramelized onions, which I home can myself. I wish I had mushrooms that I could home can myself, but I don't. But maybe one day. And then in goes my chicken. Warm it through, and you're basically finished. This dish was so easy to do. I'm finished. The mashed potatoes are finished, and then in the microwave, I heated up my corn. I mean, I could have put it on another pot on the stove and heated up my corn, but why? So here is tonight's dinner. I call it brown chicken over mashed potatoes with corn on the side. So I typically do a sweets for the week, but it's not necessary this week. It is the week after New Year's Day, and this is how much sweets we have left from Christmas. Gifts from family and friends. I haven't bought anything for the last year in the grocery stores. So all this is from family and friends from Christmas. We've had so many cookies, and we had a cake. We have chocolates. Everything was gifted to us, and we have so much left. We even gave away some. And we have all this left, so no sweets this week. So here is the broth, already nice and golden, and this is what I have left. I think I'll have enough for 2 batches, and that would mean I would get 8 pints out of this stock pot. So that will be nice to add to the pantry. So right down to the measurement, I was able to get 8 pints out of that stock pot, and I probably have about 2 tablespoons left over. And I'll probably just drink that. It tastes delicious. So I'll be adding this to my pantry. And this is the way you stretch everything you have. Get every single last thing you can out of what you have. So friends, stay safe and keep prepping. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos.